Welcome to Comic Splash on CIB24.com. I'm your host Tyler, and this is part 2 of our top 5 best and worst comic book movies. For this week's episode, I'll be ripping on some of the worst comic book movies ever. So let's get this started. First up, we have Nick Cage's Ghost Rider. Ugh, just another masterpiece from the guy who gave us Daredevil. No wonder it was bad. Despite making $150 million at the box office, still the worst than G-Force. Nick Cage should be heard, not seen. I'd rather pay to see a talking Nick Cage guinea pig than look at that wrinkled old mug for 2.5 hours. And who knew Edward Cullen was in this movie? With terrible dialogue and lame jokes, we can all agree that Ghost Rider was crap, and that Nick Cage ruins everything. Number 4 on the docket is one of the weirdest ducky movies I've ever seen. A complete cluster duck, a piece of crap. If you can't tell by now, I'm talking about the acid trip nightmare, Howard the Duck, a Marvel original. Not since Indiana Jones 4 has George Lucas helped make such a bad movie. The movie follows Howard, a pervy alien duck who gets banished from Duck World to Earth, who has to use his quack foo to fight off the criminals of Cleveland, all while trying to bang Marty McFly's mom. So it's no surprise you wouldn't see another one until 1997's Men in Black. And yeah, that is a Marvel movie, making Howard the Duck your 4th ducking worst comic book movie. Now, with 3 Punisher movies since 1989, Frank Castle just hasn't been able to become a mainstream commodity. So number 3 on our list is 2004's failed attempt, The Punisher, starring Thomas Jane as the dark, overdramatic, attention-seeking girl known as The Punisher, with everyone's favorite rub and tug enthusiast, John Travolta. The movie follows Frank Castle after JT gets his family slaughtered, thus starting his quest for vengeance. Sounds pretty sweet, right? Wrong! Jane has no star power, so you spend the movie wondering, who the hell is that guy? And even with Jane fitting the role physically, the movie's focus seems to be on John Travolta. Nobody cares your wife's cheating on you. We've all read the papers. So whether it's the mobile fire hydrant, the popsicle torture, or the Young and the Restless plotline, The Punisher is all wrong, making it number 3 on our list.
Thomas Jane, John Travolta.
Make Castle dead, whatever it takes, whatever it costs.
This is not revenge. It's punishment.
Coming in at number 2 is Casino Royale director's $300 million CGI mess, The Green Lantern, starring comic book boy toy Ryan Reynolds. This overproduced piece of garbage ruins a classic source material.
I do believe I smell fear. I'm a Green Lantern. I fear nothing. Fear is the enemy of will. Will is what makes you take action.
Now, it may be too fresh to include on an all-time worst list, but that's what happens when you hire Van Wilder, Warner Bros. Damn shenanigans. This movie's dialogue stinks, and with a complicated and frustrating plotline, it really makes you wonder what the hell's taking Deadpool so long to get made. Now, only one film can hold the title a worst comic book movie ever. And lucky for Halle Berry, Catwoman gets a pass for this classic franchise killer.
I'm certainly not a killer.
Put your hands on your head.
Oh.
I'm of course talking about Joel Schumacher's Batman and Robin, but this shouldn't surprise anyone. What hasn't been said about the Schumacher Batmans? No wonder this movie killed the Batman franchise for almost a decade, making it number 1 on our worst comic book movies ever. And that concludes this week's episode. If you disagree with our top 5, let me know in this week's Comic Clash in the comments section below. And while you're at it, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube channel. For CIB24.com, I'm your host, Tyler.